Hello and welcome back to Pump with Purpose. So I am wanting to talk about, I'm about to get on my soapbox. So I'm going to just put it out there right now so you know that this is coming from the best place possible. I am calling this video The Truth About Increasing Supply, because there are a lot of false pretenses in that of people expecting. So I'm going to be very, very forthcoming. Like if you don't watch many of my reviews, like this is one you're going to want to watch in its entirety, because I'm going to tell you the real thing about increasing supply and a little bit about my frustration. So a little bit is in there. It may come out at times, but first and foremost, please understand that Pump with Purpose is a business. I'm a lactation private practice and I help the breastfeeding community reach their pumping goals. So I strictly focus in pumping, but I also help exclusive pumpers as well as occasional pumpers that want to add pumping to their journey in addition to nursing. So please know that there will be trigger warnings of oversupply as well as nursing discussed in this video, but it has to be said. I have to come out with it because I don't want any false pretenses. Okay, so for instance, I want you to know that there are instances in life, in time, in your pumping journey, that in your breastfeeding journey overall, regardless if you're nursing and or pumping, there are instances where there are people that no matter what they do, they cannot increase their supply. Can I tell you the honest truth? I am one of those people. If I showed you my glow baby of my pumping journey, you'll see it go up. I'm going to talk about this journey because this was the longest. The other one was 9 months because I got pregnant. But I'm going to explicitly talk about this journey. If you watch my Glow Baby, I use Glow Baby to track my production. And I stopped around 21 months. I have to go back and look to see the exact date of when I stopped tracking. But I tracked literally day in and day out my output of supply. And you will see it go up, my top was, and I don't usually talk about what I produce, but I think for this video it has to be said. So you'll see it go up to about 50 ounces a day, and then you're going to see it go down. You would literally see it go down because number one, you drop pumps, it can go down. But I stayed at 4 pumps a day. And I don't recommend it for everyone, but this was me and where I was in my journey, and I accepted that. But I dropped about 4 pumps a day. I can't remember. It was around 4 to 6 months. I cannot remember the exact time period. I would have to go back. And I stayed at that exact 4 pumps a day for my entire journey, pumping an hour each session, because when I drop pumps, I have to empty. And so I'm not these fast emptying people, but literally I did all that I could and I watched my supply go down. I could power pump and I've even tried to add back pumps, and even doing so, I may have seen 2 ounce increase for the entire day, not per pump, but the entire day. So it wasn't worth it for me to add back pumps in that way to stress myself out to not see an increase. And I want the reality check of, because Pump with Purpose, I am a lactation private practice. You're investing in, me, seeing me, talking to me. And I want the reality of, I am here to help develop plans, help to give people good starts, help to people to establish, maintain, sustain supply. But there's a reality, and I want people to know before, because I don't want you to have any false pretenses of I'm going to talk to Pump with Purpose and she's going to increase my supply and it's going to be great for the rest of my pumping journey. There are many times that I do see immediate results. There are people that I'll talk and literally next pump, boom, it's there. Then there are people that have to work for 2 weeks. Then there are people that literally can try and they may not see the increase. Also, if you are seeing lactation, if you're talking to them, be completely honest in your history. If you have certain underlying conditions that are listed in a form, if you are taking any supplements, if you are doing anything really drastic and different, please let lactation know, because that may change their assessment of what they're telling you if they don't have the entire history. If you are taking prescription medications, if you are taking supplements, if you had any type of surgeries, if you have any type of underlying conditions, please list it. Please tell them so they can understand if there are any fertility issues, certain conditions like PCOS, endometriosis. Please be upfront if you are comfortable. If you are not comfortable, that is completely okay. But please understand that that person won't have the entire information to like let you know. Or you could have some things going on and it hasn't been diagnosed yet. Like no one, I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I am literally in my scope of practice, having to educate people, wanting to educate them to like help them have a better journey. But I want you to understand, first and foremost, please understand that there's also times that it can take a while. Like, this is my thing. Y'all know, like, I stay away from nursing, period. Like, I don't do latch assessments, but I help people add pumping to their journey. And if you are not pumping for 10 weeks, I'm not pumping, and then you think that some people, yes, they can pull up to the pump after 10 weeks and like start to have an increase. There are some people that can pull up to the pump after 10 weeks and it takes 10 weeks to like really start to see an increase. Like, your body is your body, and like it's person dependent. And like, I really want you to understand, like, just making a talk with lactation does not mean that you're going to see immediate results. You're going to like automatically like just your journey changes. It empowers you to understand. Also, if you don't follow like some of the recommendations there of like what has been found, you will also understand that it's a possibility like you're not going to see the full results of what could be possible. Like, if you like pump on purpose, listen, I want to sleep. I'm like, you can sleep. You can sleep before 12 weeks if you want. You can sleep after. You can do whatever. But please understand there are going to be consequences of those, or can be consequences of those decisions. And that's what I want to be first and foremost about. Like, seeing lactation is the start of a plan, developing a plan, working together. I love, if I can get people before 12 weeks when supply and demand is more hormonal, before supply regulates, y'all, like, please don't underestimate that. Please don't underestimate it, because if you start to see the supply dips from months 4 through 6, there's a chance that you can get it back. But there is also a chance that it just may not be possible, or that it may take a while of being consistent at doing something. So I cannot stress enough, like I cannot say enough about, please understand the importance of, if you want to increase supply, the sooner the better. You cannot do something to your body for so long, like anything like a doctor, like you cannot do something, for so long and then expect, like, look, let me talk about me for a minute. I cannot expect to birth 2 children, eat whatever, and then I'm going to lose weight like in 2 weeks. Like, seriously, it's like that. People don't understand in lactation that the longer you wait to do something, the longer it can take, or even if it can be recovered in time, because it's just the reality of our bodies. Our bodies produce milk, but if we signal to our bodies we don't need it, minus starting a new pregnancy all over again and like restarting the process, there is a chance that it may be difficult. And so I'm more of the place of, if I can catch you from the beginning in those first 12 weeks when we can signal your body, like, my supply decreased throughout my entire journey. I've said it before, I'm at 5 to 7 ounces a day, but I started at 50. So my supply has, even if I got a dip, I hate the dip. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, you can produce whatever, and you start seeing a dip, people start stressing out. Like, what is going on here? But I started from a place of more acceptance when those dips happened, and I could not recover them because I had a higher starting point. And that's what I want people to see and understand. If you are nursing and you just want to make just enough, you don't want an oversupply, or like have your body just have a little bit more so you have more wiggle room to work with, then absolutely, just nurse. But I have those people that go back to work, or body starts to signal a decrease due to regulation, due to approaching menstrual cycles, whatever the reason, their bodies decrease. And I see them months 4 through 12. And then, like, I can only give a plan. I don't pretend to be a genie that can wave my magic wand and like milk just going to start producing. But I can tell you the science of what can happen, or the biological part of milk production to get an increase. Does it mean your body will give you that? Not necessarily. And I want to be full and forthcoming, because I don't want people investing in lactation and thinking it's going to be the best thing in the world ever, because there are the clients, there are the people, there are the social media followers, there are just people in general that can do all that they can do and do everything that everyone tells them and may not see the increase that they want. And I am one of those people. And that's why I know and can say the importance of getting the help sooner rather than later, not just asking mom group after mom group that you're going to get 50,000 answers because they only know what worked for them. They don't see clients day in and day out. I ask my clients, send me a secure message. Let me know if my information I'm telling you is working, so I can process that and keep that in my back pocket. You don't have to have another session. You could have a secure portal. You could just tell me what you suggested went well. What you just suggested, I didn't see the increase. And the reality to me is that it does happen, that I can help 100 clients, and I'm the one person that doesn't see the goal reach is going to eat me up, because I want to help everyone. And I have to realize for myself that in lactation, if someone has done something for so long, that it just may not come back in the way that they want. And as long as they know that up front, as long as they know that from the beginning when coming and talking with me and helping to develop a plan and schedule, they're yes, most of the time it does work. But there are those instances that it may not. And I am one of those instances. And so I come to you wholeheartedly just to give you the reality of what can happen, what's the possibility, but to also empower you to get help sooner rather than later. Don't wait till 6 months and you're watching your supply decrease month after month after month and think that you're going to have a magic session and it's just going to recoup without consistency and time, because the longer it takes, I tell people all the time, sometimes in lactation, days of waiting can be months. Because the longer you wait, the longer it signals to your body not to give you that milk. And sometimes in instances when the milk is gone, it's hard to trick the body to come back. Is it impossible? No. Can it take a month? Yes. But at least you know up front, there are people that can snap their fingers and make a change and boom, the milk supply comes back in 2 days. There are people that it could take 2 months. There are people that once it's gone, it may not come back. Their body has signaled that it doesn't produce more milk. You don't know until you get the plan, but I want the reality of that it can happen. And I'm going to make sure to do a even better job in recognizing that it's a possibility. I don't know until you do it and do the work. There's also a possibility that the pumps are wrong. You can be using the wrong pumps, and I'm going to do a video on that as well. You can be using the wrong pump, period. I've used 50 of them, from double electric to manual to silicone milk collectors. I've used so many things, and I know what my body responds well to. And I'm very sensitive to feeling, and that's why I'm going to end this there of please understand that there are many things that could go on. Flange sizing, using the wrong pump, not pumping the right amount of time for what your goals are, right amount of, length of time, amount of times a day. There are all those things, dropping that night session. There are different things that can go on to help understand or underlying conditions or surgeries or medications or, supplements. All of those things factor into getting a complete care plan. And so please understand that anyone in lactation, they wouldn't be in it if they're in their mind, they're trying to help. And in my mind, in my heart, I know that I have a passion. This is my purpose, but I also want to be very realistic and upfront. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit about this, about my thoughts on it, and about increasing milk supply. Don't underestimate developing a plan sooner rather than later. And I will just say that and hope that what my intentions are in this video has come across, in that I want to reach people sooner rather than later. And so this is Dr. Diana here.